A severe thunderstorm warning has been issued for parts of Queensland. Flash flooding, damaging winds and large hailstones are forecast for Toowoomba, Brisbane, Dalby, Caboolture, Ipswich and Redcliffe. 9 centimetre hail has been recorded in Burpengary and 8 centimetre hail in Dayboro, while Wivenhoe Dam has recorded 58 millimetres of rain in 30 minutes. There's also a warning for damaging winds, large hailstones and heavy rainfall in the Northern Tablelands of New South Wales. For more, Senior Meteorologist at the Weather Bureau, Angus Hines, urges people to stay up to date with the most current weather warnings.
Over the last few hours, we've seen a number of severe thunderstorms develop around primarily southeast Queensland, including one that went through the northern suburbs of Brisbane. Over the course of the last hour and a half or so, brought some exceptionally large hail that we'd classify as giant hail, actually above 5 centimetres in diameter. We've seen areas of heavy rain as these storms have gone through. Now, that initial thunderstorm cell which went through Brisbane moved out over the water and started to weaken away, but that is not the last of it this afternoon. We're anticipating an afternoon into the evening of stormy conditions around much of Queensland, targeted on the southeast but stretching into the interior of the state as well. So throughout the rest of the day today, it would be a good idea to stay up to date with any further severe thunderstorm warnings that do get issued, because it is highly likely that we'll see more severe thunderstorm cells develop, and they can bring more severe weather, more large hail, more heavy rain and the possibility of some damaging wind gusts thrown in the mix as well.
Doesn't sound like the best weather before Christmas, Angus. What about those hailstones you just mentioned there? They sound quite large. Is that usual at this time of year for Queensland?
I mean, Queensland does get big hail, but the numbers we've been seeing today of 8 or 9 centimetres, and yesterday we saw some pictures of hailstones above 10 centimetres, something like 12 or 13 centimetres. That's right up there as big a hail as you can really expect to get anywhere across the country. That is giant hail, and it can cause significant damage. It can cause damage to property, vehicles, but as well as things like crops. It can absolutely wipe out fields if it goes through the wrong sort of area. So this is big hail. It's right up towards the largest hail we get, and it can be very damaging, and there's a chance of more of that this afternoon.
What about Christmas Day then? Is that hail expected tomorrow as well, or just storms in general in that region?
Storms are on the menu once again for Christmas. Unfortunately, I know people are looking to relax and celebrate on Christmas Day, but it could be another stormy day around southeast Queensland and many other areas actually. We expect that risk of storms to go down much of the New South Wales coast and cover large parts of Victoria as well. And once again, those storms on Christmas Day could be severe. That means again the risk of large or giant hail is there. We could see damaging winds. We could see areas of heavy rain through Christmas afternoon. So once again, I have to urge people to stay up to date with the warnings, particularly if you've travelled for Christmas and you're in a new part of the country. Just being aware of where you can find weather information for where you currently are on Christmas Day is a good idea, and hopefully everyone can have a nice relaxing time. Well,
backyard cricket looks like it's not on the agenda anymore, Angus. You're talking about how the weather's coming further south, so we're looking at New South Wales. I know there's some weather warnings there at the moment around the mid-north coast region. Can you run us through the situation there at the moment?
Yeah, well, much like southeast Queensland, we have already seen a number of severe thunderstorms across northern and northeastern New South Wales through Sunday afternoon. Again, it's heavy rain, it's large hail and it's damaging wind, all a possibility. At the moment, the severe thunderstorm warning stretches from the mid-north coast up to the northwest slopes and plains. So it really is that northern part of the state experiencing the severe weather for now. However, we do anticipate that risk to spread further southwards. Now, there's a chance of some thunderstorms further south today, but really it's Christmas Day when that risk spreads right down the coast. That does include those populated areas, Newcastle, Sydney, Wollongong, all seeing a chance of some thunder, lightning, hail and heavy rain on Christmas afternoon. And it goes right down the coastline and into Victoria as well. We could well see a wet Christmas Day with possible storms around Melbourne and other parts of Victoria.
What about any flooding? There were warnings issued by the Bureau of Meteorology earlier today about flash flooding around Sydney and the Central Coast. I appreciate that they've been now rescinded, but is there still a possibility for that, later today or tomorrow?
There absolutely is, yeah. Anytime we see the risk of severe thunderstorms, flash flooding is a possibility, and that's because these storms can dump the rain very, very, very quickly. So while we might not be looking at absolutely massive accumulations over the course of 24 hours, if you get a heavy dose of rain and it all comes within half an hour, that can still be enough to cause surface flooding, flash flooding. It can overwhelm some storm drains. So flash flooding is always a possibility when we're talking about these severe thunderstorms, and they're quick moving, they're dynamic, they develop quickly and they fade away quickly. So even though that first round of warnings has been cleared up in a few areas, we certainly wouldn't rule out further warnings being issued this afternoon. We've got the team working around the clock, tracking these storms and issuing the warnings when they see these big severe cells pop up. So it's not done with yet, even though those first warnings may have finished.